I mean, I have been asking for anyone who will listen for months, what is it going to take to get the things that DOJ identified over to the House so they can actually codify them into long-term cuts and law? Well, apparently, it took Elon doing a CBS interview that's set to air this Sunday.
You know, I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOJ team is doing. I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it could be both.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. Look, not a great sign when the guy who just landed a rocket upright on a drone that was a barge, by the way, and is implanting microchips into people's brains. If he can't fix the government, he's losing hope? I don't know, dude. This is exactly, though, what I was worried about. They passed this giant bill, and then nothing else happens. And then, thank God for Elon, because he doesn't adhere to any political loyalties. He's just set on this mission, and he's going to break from party loyalty to do it. That's what that interview was, which I think most Americans are probably vibing more with him these days than the Republican Congress, at least probably anybody who's not on the government dole, actually. But all the elected people who, by the way, stood up and clapped for Elon when his cuts were in Trump's speech in front of the House, those people all ran on not doing exactly what they're doing right now, which is status quo. And throughout this bill, they all came to the camera and said, oh, you know, we're doing what we can. We got what we could in there. There's a process. Nobody else understands. America was like, no. Did you guys not get the memo? We voted against the process. We voted for you to take the process, take it out back, and whoop its butt. You don't get to be elected on change and then do the same thing after the election. I get tired of watching Trump's agenda just completely get watered down. I know he supported this bill, but I also know that he was not thrilled about the stuff he had to take out of it to get it passed.
I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill. But the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to, we'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country.
Great. Less government stealing my money. Like, I agree. So if, and this is a big if, the Senate actually can get their act together and we get the tax cuts, but now we got to cut spending to pay for those tax cuts. Otherwise, nothing matters. And it looks like Mike Johnson is now reading the room. I don't know how he could ignore it, only after the White House said that, hey, we're just going to send you the stuff that we want you to pass. I mean, that's Congress's job to write those bills. But he said in a tweet earlier, the House is eager and ready to act on DOJ's findings so we can deliver even more cuts to big government that President Trump wants and the American people demand. Okay, I mean, I'm glad he's at least tweeting that he got the memo. And after all, we're still funding the Taliban right now. But because Republicans in the House are so afraid of their own shadow, the White House is skittish about this. So they only sent over a bill that was $9.4 billion in rescissions. The proposed cuts would be trim $1.1 billion from the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, $8.3 billion in foreign assistance from both USAID and the African Development Foundation. That should have been going a long time ago, because those are some of the most egregious spending items that DOJ found. But you want to know why I'm still not happy? The national budget in Trump's first term, okay, of his first year of his first term was $3.99 trillion, basically $4 trillion bucks. All right, this year it's $6.9 trillion. All right, it has increased by almost $3 trillion in 8 years. So, and this is my plea to the White House. So whoever is writing these proposals, I don't know who you are, just in order to even get us back to the 2016 budget level, which there was still a lot of waste and fraud then, too. I know, because I was in the administration trying to cut it at the time. At $9.4 billion bills that you're sending over now, Congress would need to pass 308 of them in the next year and a half to get it back down to 2016 levels. And since Congress has only passed, I think, like 12 laws at this point in 4 months, that's not going to happen unless they get serious. I don't want to hear, oh, we're trying, there's a process, whatever. Just do it, guys. And if you don't have the votes, I bet their districts will probably primary them. This stuff needs to get passed because a federal judge on Tuesday just allowed a group of 14 states to sue over Musk's effort to slash government spending. This is why this is so important. But some of our reps are still not getting it. They're running talking points, trying to convince everybody to be in support of this big, beautiful bill like this. This is from Senator Tom Tillis. Democrats want to let the Trump tax cuts expire. We can't let that happen. Yeah, I agree with you, dude. Fine. But maybe you should have thought about that when you made them expire the first time you passed them, because that was all political fodder. You dig? And this person on X responded to Senator Tillis and honestly kind of just said what most of us are thinking. It said, Senator, we voted for Doge. We want Doge cuts. The fact that you are incompetent cowards has never been more apparent. The American people overwhelmingly want Doge cuts. It is a bipartisan issue. What are you so afraid of? Thank you, Internet. Stop dangling shiny things in front of our face and say, oh, look, we got to do this things, guys. Forget about all that other stuff for now. Learn how to walk and chew gum at the same time. Maybe, I'm just going to throw this one out there. You could pass cuts and tax cuts and Doge stuff in the same bill. Would that be too efficient? Like 89% of Americans favor auditing the federal government spending, rooting out the waste, the fraud, the abuse. Americans, if they were given the option by poll, would cut 40% across the board if they had their way. I mean, there's really no excuse not to, other than you guys are either lying to us or some of you might be on the take. And the only reason I reached that conclusion is because the people who are actually trying to get things done are called crazy. Even her own party has called MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, crazy from the get-go. But at least she's doing what she said she was going to do. Earlier today, tweeting, quote, I was just told that we are going to see the first Doge cuts bill on Monday, 4 and 8 at NPR on the chopping block, and I have not yet seen the bill, but I am passing on what they told me. Personally, I want to pass Doge cuts every single week until the bloated, out-of-control government is reined back in. I mean, like, every week. I agree with you. Why not make it every day? Here, I tell you what. Guys, let me write a couple bills for you right now. I bet this would help, because Republicans that do vote against some of these things, they usually do it because they're too complicated, or they got pet projects in them, or they didn't get something for their district. So here's a few that don't, okay? HR, I don't know, XXX1. All right? All federal funding for colleges have to be individually passed by Congress every single year for each individual school. Oh, Carl, that'll make it hard for schools to get funding. That's a feature, not a bug, pal. All right, HR whatever 2. Anyone over the age of 100 has to show proof of life to receive Social Security every year. Let's attach to that bill, make it 2 subjects. I know I'm pushing my own limit here. There will be no taxes paid on Social Security benefits. Tough one. Who's going to vote against that? Seriously. HR 3, USAID, canceled totally and sell the building. Let's try 4. Department of Education is closed and defunded entirely. Oh, and sell that building, too. Oh, here's a great one. Since they found $4.7 trillion in payments that had no accountability because the line item for the description of the payment was just left blank. Here's my idea for that. Trump, maybe you can help me stick this in there somewhere. Okay, HR whatever 5. The 5th bill of the week. Anytime there's a check issued from the Treasury, it auto-tweets a picture of the check, who it's going to, and what it's for. And then another auto-tweet with a screenshot of whoever cashed that check at whatever bank or whoever controls that bank account when the funds are withdrawn. Watch a bunch of payments just randomly stop. Probably cut the budget in half just from that. Make that a bill. See who votes against that single proposal and then make it rain primaries on them. This is not hard. I mean, there's your first week, guys. Look, you guys all you have to do is vote on it. I just did half your job. Stop doing lunches with lobbyists and meetings with donors. Get it done. We have a real opportunity here. There's a lot of momentum, but I can tell you folks on the Hill, we are not going to let this be business as usual. There can be no compromises here. That's not what we voted for. And look, to the White House, I know a lot of the folks over there. I've spoken to them. They're good folks. But I drew a really firm line. This is what you promised. Now I need you to deliver on it. This is not a hard concept. Trump said he wants to get this thing done. Let's go. All that matters is results, not effort.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.